Heathered Knits. I am your host, Heather, and it has been a little while since I've been able to record anything. Today is a Sunday, September 5th. It is Labor Day weekend here in the United States, and I wanted to just take a second and sit down and record something for you guys. It's been a little while, but a lot has happened. As you can probably tell from looking behind me, we have moved, so we are officially in our house. We moved on August 25th, and so we are here and we are in our house. So I'm not doing this intro very well. So like I said, I am Heather. I am coming to you from our new home in mid-Michigan, where I live with my two children, Abby, who will be 16 next week, and my son Philip, who is 11. This is a podcast vlog sort of thing that mainly is about knitting, but also incorporates bits and pieces of my life into it. So thank you for joining me. If you are new here, thank you for checking me out. If you are coming back, thank you so much for coming back and spending a little bit of time with me today. So as I said, it is Labor Day weekend here in the United States, and it's been a pretty quiet weekend. I've been trying to do some unpacking. It's been a slow process with that. And the kids start school on Tuesday, so we're getting geared up for that as well. But I don't want to go into a whole lot of life stuff just in case you're not interested in that sort of thing and really just want to see what I've been knitting. So I will talk about knitting first and then talk about what's been going on, because there has been a decent amount going on. And I have been knitting. I think my knitting energy has started to come back a little bit more. I'm still not doing anything super over the top or creative with my knitting at the moment. It's a work in progress, but we're getting there. I have 3 finished objects to show you. They're all socks, so they're not like super involved knitting objects. And then I have 2 works in progress currently going that I will show you. The first bit that again, because I never remember to do this, I never remember to put things on sock blockers. So both of these are a pair of shorty socks that I've knit with just kind of using some scrap yarn. So the first one is this. Obviously it has a mate. I'm only putting 1 on the sock blocker. So this is the first one. It is knit with some leftover yarn that I had from Hue Loco, and then this is from Birchwood Fibers. I don't remember the colorway names off the top of my head. Basically, this is a sock pattern that I kind of improvised myself, and I will walk you through what that is. So I did 10 rounds of 1x1 twisted rib in a contrast color. And then I just did 15 rounds in stockinette before doing a heel flap and gusset. And then after I completed my gusset, I did about 2 rounds in stockinette, and then I started this color work rib section. So with the contrast color I knit, and with the main color I purled. And then I believe this was 23 rows before I did the toe, and I did a rounded toe. Now this is meant to fit my US women's size 6 foot. So you would have to adjust things based on your own foot size as far as like getting this cinch part to be right on the arch of your foot. But I like the way that they fit. The color work part was a little bit fiddly, and so with my second pair, I didn't do color work, I just did the ribbing in the main color, and this is the second sock that I did. And then this is its partner. So this is, again, pretty much the exact same recipe that I used for the other sock. I just didn't do the color work for the ribbing, I just did the main color. So the first color here is yarn that I dyed myself. And then the body of the sock is from Molly of a Homespun House. This is yarn that she dyed for overdose awareness. It was like a one-time colorway sort of thing. So that's what the body of the sock is. And so I have both of those that are finished. And then the other pair of socks, I don't remember what they're called, They're the last pattern in Helen Stewart's Handmade Sock Society, this most recent season. I can't remember what they are called. I knit these a while ago. So I'm going to show you the pattern. And I'll put it on my sock blocker, but I actually knit these as a gift for my aunt, whose feet are larger than mine, so I don't know how well these, oh, it does okay on the sock blocker, I guess. All right, so here it is. And the yarn that I used is from Adelaide Fiber Co. And the colorway was called Pebble. So that's the yarn. And like I said, these are a gift knit. I decided that I wanted to do more sock gift knitting for some of the people in my life because I have so many pairs of socks for myself and for Abby because she steals them, that I want to be knitting more for other people and not just for myself. So I'm trying to kind of branch out a little bit with that. It's hard though because our feet are so small, so it's a weird adjustment for me to knit a larger foot on a sock because that's not what I'm used to doing. But we're getting there, and I am going to work on a pair for my cousin. I have not started that yet because I have something else going. So for works in progress, I have a pair of vanilla socks going. I'm not real far on these. I'm working on the heel turn. Again, it's going to be the same thing as this, just using different leftover bits of yarn. So this is where I am. The contrast color is this like rich purple, which I'm actually not sure where this came from. And then this is the main color. And I do not have the ball band for either one of those, so I'm not sure any of the details on that particular yarn. It's just some leftovers that I had that I'm putting into a sock. It's, you know, back to school time, so I have a lot of knitting time waiting for the bus. Philip will ride the bus to his school because of where his school is located, but Abby doesn't. Plus, Abby's doing marching band, so there's marching band knitting time, there's diving and swim meet knitting time. So there's a lot of knitting time. So I need those vanilla socks kind of on the go to just kind of get me through that. And I've been enjoying doing the shorties and just working up some, 40 to 50 grams of yarn that I have laying around that are left over from projects. That's been really satisfying for me to do. So that's been what I've been enjoying. However, I did get inspired by Chelsea from Legacy Fiber Arts. She has a Patreon that's Chelsea Makes, and I'm a part of that. And they're doing a Weekender cal. The Weekender is a sweater by Andrea Mowry. And I decided, I have not purchased yarn at all this year. So I'm going to go ahead and purchase a sweater's quantity of worsted weight yarn to knit this sweater because the Weekender has been in my queue for a really long time. And I really thought that it was a sweater that I would like and I would really enjoy. So I ordered some yarn. This is the yarn. I really like this color apparently. I have several things that are like this shade of purple. It's not the color I thought I was getting, to be honest with you. I thought I was getting something a lot lighter and a lot grayer. But this is what came, and I like the color. It's fine. It's just not quite what I was expecting. The yarn is from Dream & Color. It's the classy worsted weight, and the colorway is called Lavender Bloom. And I have knit the majority of the body, and I have separated now to work the front and the back, and I will show you where I am. So here we go. This is it. I have really been enjoying this. This has been it's been the step away from socks that I've needed without being too overwhelming. Because it's still mostly just a stockinette sweater. The purl side is the outside. But the pattern is written so you actually knit it inside out. So you're really more knitting than you're knitting, not purling around and around, because most people prefer that. So that's the way that the pattern is written. And I have, like I said, I've separated now so that I can work the front and the back of the sweater. I did this, so this pattern calls for a tubular cast on, that was the first time I had ever done that, and that was very successful for me. I can kind of show you what that looks like. But it does create a really nice finished looking edge to the garment, and it's stretchy. So it really was a nice cast on. I will say it did kind of hurt my hands just a little bit, the way that you have to move your fingers and the needle. So I was glad, I think, that you do 2 pieces and you don't knit it all or cast it all on at once, because I think that really would have bothered my hands a lot to do it that way. So this has been a knit that I've really been enjoying. It's going to be big, obviously, but I'm excited about that, just having like a nice big cozy sweater that I can just kind of chuck on whenever. And I think Abby she'll take it and wear it too, because that's what she likes to do. So that's what I have been working on and knitting on. Like I said, I've actually made some knitting progress, which feels really good to be back in that space. I still have a lot of issues with the brain fog, and that's why this mostly around and around knitting has been what I've been needing, because even these socks that had a pattern to them, there were days I couldn't work on them because I just couldn't keep the focus enough to knit the basic simple pattern that this was. So it depends on the day, and there are some days that anything more than stockinette is more than I can handle. And I think that's just how it is. There's not much to be done for it. So when I have those days, I have those stockinette projects that I can work on, and it helps me to feel less frustrated with all of that, because it is very frustrating. So that has been the knitting stuff. If that's all you're interested in, that's completely fine. I understand. Feel free to end the video here. But if you are interested in more of like what has been going on for us, then you can feel free to stick around and we will talk about that. So life things. As I said, we have moved. We moved on August 25th. And it's taken me a little bit of time to sit down and record, because this move really physically took a lot out of me. Emotionally and mentally, it's been very uplifting and positive, because now we are in a space that is ours, and it's like permanent and it belongs to me, and that feels really good. So from like a mental health perspective, it's been really good. From a physical perspective, though, it really, really has drained me a lot more than I think I expected it to. And I don't know if that's because I've been doing this completely by myself this time. The last time I moved, my partner David was still here, and he helped to some degree with some stuff, and I didn't feel completely alone with a lot of it. This time, because he's no longer my partner and he has left, it was a lot more on just me. And I think that weighed on me from a physical perspective. I mean, the kids help, and they do help, but they're still kids, and I'm still the adult. And when you're the lone adult, that adds a lot to this. So I think that had a lot to do with it. I'm still not unpacked all the way. Downstairs is downstairs is unpacked, but my bedroom is not unpacked. The bathroom is not completely unpacked upstairs. It's just been a really slow process with the unpacking, and very, very tiring and very exhausting. And through all this process too, I had a second stress test done. I've been seeing a cardiologist, trying to kind of see if there's anything that can be done to kind of speed up this long haul process. And there really isn't, and that's a little bit frustrating, but the one thing that was nice was the cardiologist, when I talked to him, finally came out and just said, this is long haul COVID, period. I don't care if your test was negative, that's what this is, it's exactly what this looks like, that's exactly what you're dealing with. He said, this is like other people that I've seen, what you're experiencing is that completely. So that was really nice, because doctors will be like, oh yeah, it sounds like it, but nobody would label it as that. And so to have it finally be labeled as that, for me, felt very validating, because I've known that that's what this is for like the duration of this. I've known, but nobody would label it. And so to have it finally be labeled, there's something validating in that. It doesn't make it, necessarily easier, because there's so much that they don't know about it. And there's a lot of things that, conventional wisdom would tell you would help that don't help. I've had people tell me, well, you just need to work on building up your stamina. Well, my stamina doesn't build. I have been working on trying to build up stamina. It doesn't build. It has not built. It's still exhausting. 5 minutes of yoga is still exhausting. I still have to sit down after I get out of the shower and rest for a few minutes before I can dry off and get dressed. I still can't walk very far. I still can't grocery shop by myself. There's all these things that I've tried. I can't. I can't. And that can be really frustrating to convey to people who don't really fully understand the extent of what this fatigue looks like. And the brain fog days, they're not every day like the fatigue and the shortness of breath are, but the brain fog days are definitely still there. I will be starting classes again on Tuesday, so we're just going to have to try to get through that as best as I can, because there have definitely been days when I was taking classes before where I just couldn't read. Nothing sunk in and nothing stuck, and so I just had to maximize those days when it did, and the days that it didn't, I learned to just lay it down and walk away and do something else. I will say I am getting a lot better at knowing my limitations. I'm getting a lot better at not overdoing it. I say this as we've moved, and I have definitely overdone it, and that has been a slow recovery process. But we're getting there. I'm starting to get back closer to baseline, and now that the majority of the unpacking is done, I can really take my time with the rest of it. So that's kind of where I am from my physical health perspective and mental health perspective. This has made a big difference. Things with the kids are going very well. Abby is doing marching band this semester, or this fall. She's also still diving, so she has been a very, very busy kid. This last Thursday was the first home football game, so she was marching in that, and that was a lot of fun to go and watch her. It was a lot of fun as well just to see her having so much fun. Like, that just makes your heart full, and it makes me really happy to see her doing that. And then diving, she'll have her first meet on Thursday this week. So that will be interesting, because there's been some things surrounding the coaching this year, and with her having marching band, I don't know how prepared those divers are going to be for their first meet. So we'll see how that goes. I hope that it goes okay. She had such a great season last season that I really hope that she can kind of carry the momentum going forward into her junior year. She is a junior. Philip is going into 6th grade. They have an intermediate school, which he will be in for the first time this year. So he's going into that, which I can't believe. He is still working on his Taekwondo. I believe he has another belt testing later this month. I'm not sure when exactly, but sometime this month he'll have another belt testing. And he's also been swimming, and I believe he will probably be starting a league or swimming competitively. I don't know that he will start this fall, but definitely in the winter. There's a middle school team that as a 6th grader he can be a part of, so he will be swimming. So it's been busy, and I think that also has contributed a lot to my fatigue aspect of things. So that's where we've been at. We're in a good place. We're really happy to be in our house. It's in a really good location. The kids are happy with their rooms. They're happy to be here. I'm really happy to be here. It feels really good. It felt so good handing in the keys to that apartment, because that place just kind of felt very oppressive to me. This is a lot more liberating, and this feels really good. So I'm really happy to be here. So before I just start rambling about who knows what, we're going to end this here. Thank you so much for those of you who stuck around for the life update. Thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. I appreciate all of your support, all of your comments and your words of encouragement. They really do make me smile, and I try to respond to all of them. If I don't respond, I do read them at least. So thank you so much for all of that. I do really appreciate it. I feel it. It feels so good to be in our home, to be here, and thank you all for watching. Please do like, comment, and subscribe if you are so inclined, and I will talk to you all again in a couple of weeks. Bye!